going to give it a few minutes. Can you guys hear me or no? Yes? Awesome. Is it clear, loud? Good? Good? Awesome. I'm going to give it just maybe 2 minutes and then we'll get started. Make sure everything's set. Mic's working good. That's good. I was literally awake 1:30 Arizona time. So thank goodness for good makeup lessons because I'm exhausted. I am so tired. All right, let's see. Ooh. We had fun in Kansas City this weekend. It was awesome. University in Action. Have you all been to a University in Action before? Yeah? It's awesome. It wasn't a big crowd, but I think I like that even better. It was awesome. There's one coming up in North Carolina on the East Coast, if you guys can make it to that. Oh yeah, I saw some of you. I saw Susan there. I saw Susan and Christy there in Kansas City. It was awesome. Charlotte in November for a University in Action. And honestly, for those of you that are just getting started or have people getting started, that is hands down my favorite event to get people to, because really, honestly, if you can make it through that, you can do this. You really, really can. That's talk about getting out of your comfort zone. That event really, really does do it. It was amazing. And speaking of events, any of you in Arizona, you need to get to these few events I'm going to talk about. This weekend, I have Corey Kinnear and Deanna Falchuk coming to the Valley. It's going to be an amazing event. It's not your traditional Isagenix event. It's definitely for you if you are struggling. Maybe you keep sabotaging yourself. Maybe you have issues with belief. Maybe you just don't know if you have it in you to do this. This is definitely the event for you. These two women, Deanna and Corey, are so inspiring. We all three have different stories. We all three started around the same time and had to overcome some pretty big stuff in order to do what we've done. So please, if you are in or around the state of Arizona, I want to see you guys there to support my friends that are coming. I told them that they would have a packed house, so I'm hoping that you're all there. It's going to be amazing. They're excited to meet all of you and love on you, and I know that they would love to get hugged by all of us, all of our team. They're amazing. Also, Susan Sly, me, and Wendy Wongeren are hosting a 90-day game plan event, 3 events, like the 30, 60, 90-day mark here in Arizona. And it is dirt cheap. And are you kidding me, Susan Sly? Like, do I even need to say anything else? It's next Thursday is the first one, September 22nd. I can't remember the October and November dates off the top of my head. But seriously, we're going to have 6 different trainers that night doing it TED Talk style, 6 really important subjects to help you break through your business. Incredible. If you are in Arizona, you must be there. It's Thursday, September 22nd is our first one. October 20th is the second one, and November 10th, thank you, is the third one. And in December, we're going to do a fun little event. I think it's December 8th. Put that on your calendar. We're going to do a one-team opportunity meeting, especially in December. It's a great time to keep things going. A lot of people just take the foot off the gas, and that's when it all gets crazy. So we're going to have a really, really fun, ugly sweater opportunity meeting. We're going to celebrate the 90-day game plan finish and just love the heck out of each other. So put those dates on your calendar. If you haven't registered for those events, please, please, please do so. The only one that's not in the back office is the raw and real one. Deanna actually just tagged me in something. So if you go to my Facebook profile, The link is right there to register. Please get registered ahead of time. And then the last event that we have in Arizona, and I know a lot of you aren't in Arizona, but come on out. It's a great time of year to come. October 15th. This is going to be awesome. We're having a little reunion. Jason Liu, Jessica Johnston, and myself are doing a Super Saturday with Wendy Wongeren as well. It's going to be incredible. October 15th here in Gilbert. We're going to have a little slumber party at my house with them. It's going to be amazing. Jason, are you kidding me? He's just the bomb. And Jessica has so much knowledge. Some of you have seen her. She's been here in the Valley. She's got a big team here too. So really, really excited. So if you guys haven't registered for those, could you please do so and spread the word, get your teams here. If you're not here, but you have a team here in Arizona or you can't make the trip out, please, please, please get on board for that. I'd love to support my friends that are making the trip out for all of you guys. Can we agree to that? Arizona peeps? Yep. Awesome. Okay. So week 4, can you believe we are in week 4 of our 90-day game plan? How you guys feeling? Let me see if you thumbs up if you're doing well. Are any of you struggling? It's okay if you are. You can give me a little head nod if you are. I see a few head nods. Yeah, that's usually when, you know, the wall kicking moment starts. The enthusiasm, the excitement has worn off from celebration. You know, we've got Adam Levine off the brain now, so we're not as excited, things like that. And that's why I definitely am continuing these for the entire 12 weeks. I was in Kansas City and I could not believe how many people have told me how beneficial these Zoom calls are. I hope that you guys are benefiting from them. Our beautiful, amazing team. I know that I am. It's keeping me in the game because, you know, it'd be very easy for me to be not excited anymore, especially with as little sleep as I've had, you know, but I was fired up to see all of you, you know. That's how you stay in this game, is keeping that excitement long after the initial excitement is there. And I know that might be hard for you. Life is happening for a lot of you. The letdown, there's a natural letdown after an amazing event like celebrations, kind of like a wedding, you know. If you've ever planned a wedding, you know, and you get all the hype and then a week after the honeymoon, it's like, you know, you just have that huge, just like, ugh. So I know many of you may be feeling like that from what I've been reading in our health challenge and Strive. I can see some of you are struggling, and I'm glad that you're at least talking about it and not hiding out. I'm glad that you're at least showing up and not hiding out. That's half the battle, because our natural reaction when we're going through something like that is to isolate and to just kind of go off the grid, right? Or is that just me? Anybody else? Okay, yeah, I'm seeing lots of head nodding, hands going, yeah, preaching it, baby. So I'm really proud of you. So we're making progress, not perfection. We're giving perfect efforts. And can I just say, y'all look beautiful. You look damn good. Wow. Good looking group we've got. Mwah, back at you. So as you know, with the Eric Worre leadership event and celebration, one of my favorite parts of his talk was about the 10 traits of amazing leadership. And how many of you guys were there? A lot of you? Yeah, wasn't it amazing? So we went through the first 3 weeks, which was vision. We did our vision boards, belief, and we're going to touch on belief a lot because I think that's where everybody struggles. And especially after being in Kansas City for University in Action, working very, very closely with many, many of you and many of them, belief in yourself is where most of us struggle, and belief in ourselves that we can actually do this network marketing thing. Would you guys agree that that's usually where the struggle comes? Yeah. Okay. I think sometimes we see a lot of the glory and we don't hear all the stories and how hard this actually is. And you guys know that I never sugarcoat how hard this is. This is hard work. Is it worth it? You bet you. It is so worth it. But it is a grind to work on yourself every day and work on a network marketing business. So I don't want you to think that I take that lightly. Can everybody hear me? Because somebody's having okay, good, then it's not my sound. I don't take it lightly how hard this is. I don't take it lightly when you guys are struggling. There's no judgment on anybody. I want you to know that this is hard work, and I see you guys pushing through it anyway, and that's huge. Do you guys know how big that is? Do you know how many people quit and you guys are still all in? Like, that's amazing. So I want you guys to not be beating yourselves up. I want you guys to be like patting yourselves on the back. All right, can we agree that we're not going to beat each other up or beat ourselves up? I see some tears already. I can't even believe it. I love it. All right, we're going to get it all out of our system, okay? We're going to love ourselves because that is half the battle in this. Okay, so we've talked about vision, belief, simplicity, which is huge to stay duplicatable. And this week, ironically, is positivity. And it's interesting because I used to be probably one of the biggest bitter Bettys on the planet. I would always look for the negative in it, probably because I was insecure. It's not a probably, it's because I was insecure, and finding faults in other people protected me from getting hurt. Does anybody else relate to that, or is that just me too? Okay, so it was a lot easier to find faults in people. It was a lot easier to just find the negative in things. That way I had an out and an excuse if I didn't follow through with something or if I failed. Gosh, I did that a lot. I did that so much. I talked a lot about that this weekend in Kansas City, about, those feelings that, every decision you make is based on either love or fear. Every single, and you've heard me, I'm seeing the hashtags and I'm loving it, that love trumps fear every time. And anytime you're feeling paralyzed, know that you're acting out of fear and not love. And I know all of you so well, and I know how much you love people and love to serve people and want to make a difference in the world. And so when you're feeling that fear pop in, just think that this is about love. This is about love, and push through it. And luckily, we were so blessed to have Kelly Diggerhoof in Kansas City as well. And because she, even still, she still has those feelings. She's kind of an introvert and shy as well. And what she tells herself, because your body doesn't know the difference between like fear and excitement. And so when she feels those fearful feelings, or when she's feeling like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, she just tells herself that she's excited. She's excited, and she pushes through. And if you don't know who Kelly is, she's one of the most amazing leaders in this beautiful company. She was one of the ones that I watched from my early on days. So, if you're feeling that fear, know that fear isn't going to serve anybody, especially yourself or your family. And so know that you're coming from a place of love. And even if you start to get rejection, or people in your life that you love that are just hammering on you and maybe giving you a lot of heck about this, know that your intention is all out of love, that you are in the right spot. Does it mean that the people around you are going to jump on board? No, but if you quit because they're giving you that hard time, you're pretty much just confirming what they were saying anyway. Would you agree? Yeah, it's hard though. I know it's hard. I got I had a lot of people saying some not so nice things to me, and still do sometimes. And I'm totally okay with that, because I know that my intention is to love, serve, and care, right? We're all about that. We talked about that with the carpenter, and, everything is coming from that place. And so when you know that it's coming from that place, it's a lot easier to take the rejection, to take the hits. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, because it does, but it does make it a little bit easier when we know where intention is and what we are out here to do. You gotta hold on a second. My dog is whining at the door. Come on, buddy. Come on. Sorry. So does that make sense, you guys? It is hard. But I believe that, the devil will put those things in our way to really test to see if we really want something bad enough. All of you on this call said you wanted this really, really bad. You've told me that for 4 weeks now, 5, because the first one we had was the prep week. And, you're being tested to see how bad you really, really want this. You're going to have to push through some things that are hard. You're going to have to keep working on yourself and breaking old habits and patterns. If you're like me, I got some years on some of you. I got 4 decades of bad habits and patterns underneath my belt that protected me as a little girl, but didn't do so much for me at 40. So you're going to have to change some things up. And I'm not saying that, you know, those things were bad in the past. They probably helped a lot of you guys get through some really, really hard times. And I know that knowing a lot of your stories, that's the case. But I want you to really ask yourself if that is serving you and your vision today. Is it? I know for me, it wasn't. Even though it's all I knew, it was scary to do something totally different. But when you want something different, you have to do something different. And that means breaking old patterns and habits. And as far as positivity goes, when you're having those moments, it's hard sometimes to stay positive. It is. It's like, really, is it always going to be this hard? And I want you to know, yes, you're going to have to fight this your entire life. And it's worth it. Just know that. Just know that right now. Know that every day, even me, I wake up every day and have to work on me first. I have to, otherwise, I mean, I can easily go back to my old habits and patterns. I easily can, and I have. And it's gotten me back where I don't want to be. And the really bad part is I know better now. And so the tendency to want to beat myself up even more is even greater because I know better. You know what I'm saying? So if that's you, and I know a lot of you do know better and you do fall into that pattern, please don't beat yourself up. You know what? You've got decades that you're trying to relearn. So you just get back on the horse and you do it again. You reach out to a friend. I mean, we are not in this alone. Can we agree that we are not going to isolate? We're not going to go off the grid. We are going to lean in when we feel ourselves slipping into old habits and patterns. And I know a lot of you are. I'm so freaking proud of you. I'm watching you guys work through it. You're identifying what's happening, and then you're moving forward. And it just takes practice with anything. I mean, to be a master at anything takes 10,000 hours of practice. And when you have 4 decades of really bad habits, it's probably going to take me more than 10,000 hours to master not doing that anymore. You know, unlearning is a lot harder than learning. Would you guys agree? Yeah. Most of us don't need to learn as much as we need to unlearn. And so I want you to keep doing the work on you. Just know it's all your whole life. Just sign up for the whole package deal because it will be a lifetime deal. And you know what? Every day that you grow, it is so freaking worth it. You know, even when I fall off, I'm still really proud of myself. I know that I deserve great things. I know that I'm a great human being. I know that my heart is pure. I do believe that I deserve all the great things that the world has to offer. And you know what? For me to even be able to say that out loud is such massive growth. Like I never, ever could have said that before. You know, stay plugged into healthy mind and body. I know many of you are. You know, keep putting positivity in your brain. I have quit watching TV. And honestly, I watched part of the football game last night, and I'm so freaking over that too. Because they've turned football into something so negative with all these ignorant guys just kneeling and being so disrespectful. Like I am so boycotting everything, and I am a sports freak. Like I am so over everything negative. I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV. I listen to sermons. I listen to personal development. I listen to motivational speakers. I listen to God. I pray. I meditate, because whatever's coming in will eventually filter out your mouth. So if you're listening to negativity or watching negativity or, oh my goodness, even just like the politics and all that crap. I mean, I know it's kind of important, but really, do we need to be watching it, the live feed on CNN all day, every day? God, no. Please don't. Please don't. So, you know, I know maybe it sounds a little woo-woo to stay in my little bubble, but honestly, I think I'm pretty well put together, and I think my life is doing just fine without having that stuff and being in the know all day long about that crap that's so negative. Honestly, what I believe, and I hope you believe this too, is we will make a much bigger difference spreading our love and light on the world than to be spreading what we're hearing in the news, right? I don't know about you, but I know that the world needs a lot more of us. And the world needs a lot more of love and light and positivity. And there is nothing on TV that's positive right now. Almost like nothing. Unless you watch Fixer Upper and watch cute little Chip and Joanna. But other than that, I don't even watch that anymore. Too busy. We're too busy. So turn off the TV. Let's listen to good stuff. I know I've come across some really great sermons. You know, I know not everybody has the same beliefs as me, but there are some amazing positive things. I'll start posting some of them because they're really great, and you can choose to click on it or not. Yeah, I'm pretty much done with cable too. I have probably 8 TVs in my house, and none of them ever get turned on except Joey's to watch football. So positivity, complaining. And I know we talked a lot about this. I know with John Gordon and his books that I've kind of put in your ear, there's a lot less complaining, and you catch yourself. And, you know, complaining, you guys know, I know most of you know, you're not going to come to me with anything unless you have a solution to back it up, right? So if you feel your need to complain or to have a little pity party for yourself before you even verbalize it or even think it, you know, if it's kind of going around in your head, I want you to switch the gear and say, okay, you know, life happens, things happen that we don't exactly love, but how can we fix the situation? Complaining never fixes anything. It just breeds more negativity. So before you kind of like stay in that yuck, try and figure out what you can do. And sometimes it means removing yourself from a situation completely. I don't know what that looks like for some of you, but come to the table with something that will help the situation, because if you're just kind of complaining, it's just going to get worse, and people aren't going to want to be around you. And even worse, you're going to start attracting people like that in your life. And I'm pretty sure none of you want a bunch of complaining, negative Nellies in your life. Would you agree? Awesome. So we're not going to complain. The other thing is really, really bad is gossip. And sometimes that stems from jealousy. I don't even like to listen to it. So I don't really even have anybody come to me anymore with any kind of gossip, which is great. And the more you spread your love and light, and the more you are positive out in the world, it is like a repellent to anybody that's negative or gossipy. And so I truly believe that's why I have none of it in my life, because I am nothing but love, light, and positive every single day. And there are times I'm tired and I kind of just am quiet, but I'm never negative. And so, you know, if you find yourself where you are being surrounded and hearing a lot of gossip, or maybe even participating in it, that is a reflection of maybe how you're presenting yourself into the world. So I know that it's hard to hear maybe for some of you, but if you have people around you that come to you to gossip, that probably means that you interact with it or respond to it. And a good way to stop that from happening is if somebody, like I had to be really hard on some people sometimes, like if they even started talking about anybody, I'm like, listen, you know what? I don't want to hear any of it. You know, if you would say that with them standing right here, then let's go get them. And you say exactly what you're going to tell me. And if that's not the case, then you probably should not even say it. And, you know, that's, not everybody likes me when I say that, but you want to hold people accountable. And more importantly, you want to hold yourself accountable. Okay. So if you're involved in that, you really want to start owning it and not doing that. And I'm going to say I was guilty for a while. And usually that stems from a place of jealousy, judgment, and justification. Those 3 things, you can write that down. 3 things that will totally ruin anything positive in your life is jealousy. Be happy for people. They work hard. And maybe just it's their turn to have some favor in their life. You're not the judge. Judgment, standing in judgment of people. All right. And justification. Justifying why you aren't doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah, but my family this. Yeah, but my husband's working all the time. Yeah, but my kids got sick. Yeah, but anything that you said before but is negated. So you might as well just stop with the yeah buts, okay? No more justifying. I've got lots of stuff going on in my life. I really, really do. And I have not missed a beat. Doesn't mean my anxiety isn't up a little bit. It is, and I have to, you know, navigate through that. But I made a commitment to you guys. I made a commitment to myself. And life's going to happen. Life's going to happen, but it doesn't have to derail you. Can we agree with that? Yeah? Awesome. Another thing that helps you stay positive is even when, Okay, so if you have a person that continuously rubs you the wrong way, I want you to flip a mirror around, because it's probably something that is about them that you don't like about yourself. I usually say, if you spot it, you got it. So I know when there's somebody that's kind of irritating me a little bit, that I know that that's something about myself I'm not really in love with, and I need to change it. It is very rarely about that person. Very rarely about that person. When one of my kids rubs me the wrong way, I know exactly why. I'm sure all of you, if you've got more than one child, there's one that knows how to push your buttons more than the other, right? Yep, they're probably the one that's most like you, usually. But trying to, like, when I come across a situation, I have, like, again, the 3 J's, jealousy, judgment, justification. I make no judgments on anybody. Anybody that comes up to me, no matter what they look like, no matter their energy, I try to find greatness in them right off the bat. I try to go for the positive. And you know what? A lot of times, just because I'm positive, it can break down a wall for somebody that's had it so far up and guarded. And again, the world needs more of us. And it's going to take one of us going first. And we've all agreed we want to be 2%ers, right? 2%ers go first. Even when we're irritated, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're being rejected, even when you're getting backlash, even when somebody's a little salty. We go first, okay? Because that will bring the positivity out of people. Not everybody, we're not going to save them all, trust me. But you're going to feel a lot better about yourself not participating in that yuck, right? I would think so. Always looking for the blessing in a situation, even when life throws you a curveball. I know a lot of you that are on this call, I know a lot of the curveballs that have been thrown at you in the last few months. I've had a few curveballs thrown at me. It's a good thing I practice in that batting cage a lot, because I can hit a curveball out of the park if I have to. And so again, it takes practice. It takes practice. It takes practice. And it takes practice to find a blessing in every situation, even the negative stuff. Okay? So make it a habit. Instead of saying, woe is me, or, oh my gosh, like seriously, when it rains, it pours. Yeah. God's testing you. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Get in that batting cage and practice hitting those curveballs. Because I guarantee you can see one coming, and you're going to know how to prepare yourself. And instead of reacting to everything, you're going to know how to pause and respond. Okay? So start finding blessings in every situation, especially when it's hard. I almost have fun when I get somebody that's a little saltier than the next, or, even the situation with my son, we're going in for heart surgery. Are you kidding me? Do you think I plan to have my 18-year-old in for heart surgery? No. But we are finding the blessing in that. We are finding the positive in that. We have not once had a little pity party, or we're not even in fear. It's like this will be used to bless somebody somehow, some way down the road. And it's all about love. Okay, so I understand fearful things are happening for you. I know a few people on this call are pregnant and they didn't expect it. And it's like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Or, parents have passed away and divorces are going to happen, and lots of hard things, moving really, really hard. Find the blessing in every situation. Find it. I promise you, everything that has been negative that's happened in my life has been used to help bless one of you. Every single hard thing in my life that I've gone through. So I have found the blessings in the pain that I've been in, because it's helped me help people. So know that you were chosen specifically for these hard things. I know you're like, great, thanks a lot. But you were chosen specifically. You were chosen because you are strong. You're a warrior. Okay? Don't waste it. Can we agree to that? Awesome. Yeah, and staying positive. I'm sure a lot of you didn't want to hop on this call tonight, right? It's okay. I didn't either. I'd much rather be sleeping. I didn't want to put some mascara on. I didn't want to wash my hair, but I needed to. I stunk. And, again, I found that positive spot in me. I was excited after Kansas City to see all of you. So stay there. And again, walk the walk you talk. Your teams, your children, Your friends will do what you do. 2%ers go first. 2%ers go first. 2%ers go first. I know, you're so sick of me saying it, right? Right? But it's true. We all want the 2%, but we all don't want to do the work that it takes. Is that right? I had a whole room of people in Kansas City saying they raised their hands, they popped it high, and then they got the tough love. Because the fact is we all want it without the work, and it's just not that way. Okay, so we're going to commit. We're going to stay positive. We're only on week 4. We got 8 more weeks to go, baby. Are you excited? Yeah, okay. So the topics this week with our 90-day game plan. You guys still following it, filling it out? I believe it was follow-up, getting people started, and we're going to talk about events a little bit. So especially with an amazing community that we have with Strive, would you all agree that that's pretty darn amazing? You better say yes. I'm just kidding. It really is like my third child. And it's a great place to have people feel loved and welcome. And I know a lot of you have put people in there, right? Yes, it's my 4th. Very true. Wrigley's my 3rd. The key is to be active in there first and foremost. If you're using Facebook as a follow-up tool, which is really important, I think you guys have heard me talk about how much people are on social media. It's 4.7 hours a day is the average amount of time people are on social media. So it's crazy. So it only makes sense that following up within our social media community would make a lot of sense. Would you agree? Yes, it's not the only way, and we'll touch on the other ways. However, when it comes to our Facebook group, it's really, really important that you keep track of who you add in there. And if you've put people in there, like if you go to the members portion, like if you logged into Strive right now and went to the members, the people that you put in would show up first in the list usually. So if you haven't written it down, I suggest you write down who you've added in there, highlight the ones that have already joined you, and maybe circle back and just kind of keep in contact with those that haven't joined yet, or if giving you a reason why they can't. With the pumpkin shake coming out tomorrow, it's a great reason to just check in. It's a great reason to say, oh my goodness, I know that for whatever reason, whatever is going on in your life, maybe it wasn't the time, but I wanted to tell you, oh my goodness, 4 hours last time this pumpkin shake went out, and I just wanted to tell you about it. Or just wanted to see how you were doing. It's really important to get organized with your lists, and I'm not going to lie, this has not been my strength before. But with our little notebooks, are you guys using your little notebook systems that I told you about? Your to-do list, your brain dump, and your inspiration. Has that been helpful for you guys? Yeah, awesome. Good, I'm glad it's helpful. But have a notebook just of your prospects. I hate that word, but people that you've talked to about Isagenix. Nobody ever comes off your list until they join. Nobody. And so with the Facebook group, keep track of who you've put in there. Go back and, look at posts that when you welcome them in, you can even add a new video. Go to Isamovie, pick out a great video that maybe you think they would relate to. And if you haven't watched all those movies, you need to watch them over and over and over and over again so you know exactly what video will relate to somebody. Maybe add that in your welcome post, even if it was a long time ago. Say, hey, I was thinking about you today. You were on my heart today in this video. I ran across this video and I thought of you. Boom, put it in the post. But the really, really important part about this is that you're actually active in there. If you spend 15 to 20 to 30 minutes a day, depending on if you're, part-time, full-time, whatever, you have to be in Strive being active, because that is how people are going to know what the heck they're doing in there. And, I know there's different thought processes on putting people in a Facebook group. I personally don't like just dropping people in there without having a conversation. If somebody had done that to me, I would have, even if I wanted what they had, I probably wouldn't have joined, because I don't like that way. That's just me. I know some people do it and it's effective for them. So, the only way that that's going to work if you choose to do that is if you're really, really active in Strive. So I don't recommend it unless you are going to be in there quite a bit. But even so, I mean, think about yourself. Would you want to be dumped? I get added to groups all day long, and it pisses me off. Like, it irritates me. And it's all network marketing businesses. And honestly, even if I wanted what they have, I will not go to somebody that operates business like that. That's just me. This is if you want me to take a look at something you're so passionate about, then at least have a conversation with me, make it personal. Don't just dump me in a Facebook group. That's just my take on it. Like I said, there are people that do that, and it's working really great for them, but I also know that they're super, super active in whatever group that they're doing that in. So just think about how you, again, do what you would want to have done for you. And for me, that's a big no-no. Like, I seriously won't buy any of that Lulu Rose stuff. I won't buy any Rodan and Field stuff because I've been dumped in by all those people, and it irritates me. If you want me to take a look at something, have enough respect for me to say, hey, I thought of you. I thought maybe you would really like this. I'm excited about it. Please add me in. Or can I add you to my Facebook group? Isn't that a much better way? I mean, it's things like that, in my opinion, that have given network marketing that stigma that we're all weird and that we're creepy. And that's why our family gives us crap, because that stuff happens all the time. Don't be that network marketer. Be the one that sends a video message on Facebook or a voice message on Facebook and says, you know what, I've been doing this and I love it. And you came across my heart today. I would love to add you to this amazing Facebook group that I'm a part of because I think you would love it. Like, isn't that amazing? I would so be like, yes, put me in. Put me in. Anybody that took the time to say that to me, I would probably look at it even more. So just a little word to the wise. If you're one of those that does that, totally okay, but you're going to have to do a lot more follow-up, and you're probably going to have to clean up some messy stuff that those people have now a preconceived notion about network marketing. It's just my opinion. Again, I am no expert. That's just how I would operate. And I refuse to buy those two companies because I've been continuously dumped into those groups. That's too bad. I just don't operate like that. So being active in Strive, like I said, if you're part-time, try and get 20 minutes in there. If you're full-time, 30 to 45 minutes actively in there, adding content, loving on people that aren't necessarily financially linked to you. Because again, as your people are watching you, your people that are deciding if this is for them, if and when they do decide that this is for them, they're going to duplicate you and do what you did. And I promise you, if they do that, their success rate, their chances of sharing Isagenix will go up. Everything you do and don't do duplicates. So if you're not doing anything, that's going to duplicate too. So I know people that can enroll like a mad person, but their people aren't doing jack. And it's because they're nowhere to be seen in Strive. I don't enroll a ton of people, but the ones I do are doing things because I'm doing things. Wouldn't you rather work smarter instead of harder? I would think so. So, is it monotonous? Is it mundane? Is it boring? Is it unsexy? Absolutely. Does it build empires? Yes. You have to be consistent every single day. We all have our smartphones on us, even when we're on vacation, even when, we're at a little league game. Take 15 minutes. Seriously, it makes all the difference in the world. And you can do this from anywhere. When you welcome people to our group, I like to, if we've had a conversation about it, and I know that they'd be open to it, I usually ask permission. If I let them know, hey, I'm going to welcome you into Strive. Be prepared. A lot of people are going to love the heck out of you. Don't let it freak you out. It's truly just a beautiful, loving community. Most people are really excited when I let them know that. If I don't warn them ahead of time, it could be overwhelming. Would you agree? I mean, that would freak me out if I didn't know it was coming. Again, you want to frame things for people. Just like with the 14-day talk, we're framing it. We're letting them know those first few days can be really, really hard. Frame this for them. Set the expectations. So again, that will duplicate, right? Everything that you do, be thinking about duplication. And if you're not doing things, know that that's going to duplicate too. And you're going to have to work much harder. You're going to be the manager. And you're going to have to manage every single person that shows up in your downline instead of duplicating yourself. Is that what you want? Absolutely not. That's how you get burnt out. That's how this isn't fun. That's how, 6 months down the road, you're done. And I know none of you want that, right? So do the work at the front end. It's like with children. Honestly, toddlers suck. It is not fun. Potty training is the worst thing ever. When you're dealing with a kid that says no every 5 seconds, that really is not fun. However, if you just give in to that child, you know what you end up with is a bratty teenager and a nightmare of a kid later. It's just the truth. So you know what I did? Even though I couldn't stand those ages, I could not stand potty training. It's my least favorite age. 18 months to 3 years, and I had 2 of them at the same time in that. Seriously, I did the work at the front end, and you know what? It was worth it, even though I drank a lot during those days. That was when I liked Long Island iced tea. And, I did not like it. But I knew if I did the work at the front end, it would pay off down the road. And most of you that have met my children know I have probably 2 of the most respectful, amazing kids on the planet. So I'm relating this to your business because I was willing to do that work at the front end, even though it was monotonous, unsexy, not fun, unglamorous, but it paid off. Think of your Isagenix business as your children. You don't want bratty teenagers, right? None of us do, trust me. I see people that gave in to their kids during those ages, and I wouldn't want to be in their house right now because those kids come back to sleep on your couch. I don't want that. But you also want your organization, if you put in this work in the front end, that's why network marketing and residual income is so amazing. You do this work hardcore for think of your Isagenix business right now as toddler years, as potty training years. It is so not fun. It is so not sexy. But if you do it hardcore for 3 years solid, consistent, every day, you're going to get to year 4 and it's going to feel like you've got great teenagers on your hands that can be self-sufficient, that will run themselves, that you don't have to check in on, that you don't have to worry that the police are going to be calling. And this residual income will start to come in. That hard work will pay off. So treat your business like the toddler years. All right? You're not going to just slap an iPad in front of them. Don't slap an iPad and those things in front of your business either. You got to actually be consistent and do the work. All right? Does that make sense? I think that's a good analogy. It really, really is. Because parenting toddlers isn't fun. The first 2 years of your Isagenix business isn't the funnest part. It isn't. Because it's hard to see, even when you're parenting a toddler, it's hard to see that this hard work is going to pay off because you're lucky if that kid's going to make it out of this alive, right? I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone in that. There are days you're like, seriously, if this kid survives this, I am the best parent on the planet because seriously, I want to wring this kid's neck. Even my cute Joey, the things that I thought about that kid, and those of you that know him, he's like amazing. But seriously, he's lucky he made it out of 3. Okay? So just treat your Isagenix business like that toddler. Love the heck out of it. You may need more extra Ionics during this first couple years. If I had known about Ionics when I was raising toddlers, this thing may have gone a little bit better. Okay, at least you guys have Ionics to do this. So do the work, promise. If you're putting people into Strive, I like to add my Why Isagenix video. I think it's pretty darn good if I don't say so myself. It's 8 minutes. It's like the normal people way of explaining what Isagenix is. If you have one that you like better, by all means do it. Definitely you want to give them some kind of tool. Again, it's going to duplicate. If you're explaining everything, they're never going to share it with anybody because they don't want to have to do that. So it's really, really important that because people are on social media 4.7 hours a day, we're using tools to give them information. We are not the knowledge queens and kings, okay? Use the tools, use videos. I still, honestly, the only thing I know is whey protein and adaptogens. Other than that, I have no clue what's in anything. And I don't want to know what's in anything because I'd rather use a tool. Cool? Use the tools. Okay. So we're going to agree that we're going to be really, really active. Yeah. And we're in the middle of that challenge. Are you guys liking the challenge? Are your people liking the challenge? I think it's really, really good. And as you know, I'm about belief and mindset, because I think that's where most of us drop the ball on anything in our lives, whether it's in relationships, our health, anything is belief and self and mindset. So that's why, obviously I do focus on that. We have all the amazing products and all that, and healthy mind and body. It's amazing. That's why we incorporate that in that. But again, being really active, especially when this challenge is going on. We didn't have as many participate as I expected, and I'm okay with that. I'd much rather have the ones that are serious. There are some people that I expected to that didn't, and I'm not going to call you out, but how you do anything is how you do everything. So you can't be asking people to do something that you're not willing to do. And so just keep that in mind. If you're saying, hey, go enroll people, hey, go talk to strangers, hey, do healthy mind and body, hey, join the Isagenix challenge, hey, post every day, hey, go love on people and strive, but you're not doing any of that, you're a jerk. Let's just be real. That's like telling your kids not to smoke and you're lighting it up every 5 seconds, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. So keep your integrity, stay congruent with who you are, and I promise you that'll duplicate. It will. It's not fun. It's mundane. Angelique Norrie is the queen of saying, master the mundane. It is so true. It is so true. And 4 years from now, when you've mastered the mundane, it does get easier, okay? Finish strong. Getting people started. I've always started people with President's Packs because it's what I started with. And I know a lot of you guys have a hard time even talking about a President's Pack because you don't want to deal with a price objection. Is that right? It's okay. We can be real and honest. I know that is the case. And I want you to know, I did a video on objections, and it's really good. I did it in my first year. And how I came up with that video is I listened to, I think it was Lynn Hagedorn. Lynn Hagedorn, maybe Chris Harder did an objections video. And I listened to it over and over and over and over again and kind of made it my own. And I took the things that, most people have objections with. And whatever objection you're getting the most is probably the one that you struggled with the most. So if it's money, if you think back to when you were getting started, if you were kind of giving your enrolling sponsor a hard time about the cost, that's probably because of your own kind of, feelings about that. So if you are having people that are objecting to the price a lot, it's because you're not explaining the value of it. And when I explain a President's Pack, by the time I get done with it, they're like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. That's a great value. And over in Kansas City this weekend, Hillary Courtney was there, who is freaking amazing. She's been in network marketing 16 years, 10 with our company. And she explained how she talks about it. And this will be really helpful. And it's kind of what I do too, but the way that she really broke it down, like people will want to know, they're like, bottom line, you give me the price, give me the price, give me the price. And it's long before we've even talked about the value that's in it, right? And because we just don't want to deal with it, we just say, well, it's this. And you can tell, 90% of your communication is your posture and your confidence. So even if you are talking a good game and you're saying all the right things and you're real smooth with your words, if your posture and your confidence isn't there, they're going to notice that and they're going to feel that. And they're going to be like, well, you don't really believe that this is valuable just because of your posture. I'm just going to be really honest with you. So it's really important that you watch that objections video over and over and over again. So when the objections do come, you know exactly what to say, how to explain the value of a President's Pack. And another thing that I do is I say there's good, there's better, and there's best. The best is the Business Builder Pack. You want to start with that because that way when you talk about the President's Pack, it's half the price, right? And then obviously the 30-day system. And, I don't even say the prices. And the way that Hillary explained it, this is really, really great. President's Pack replaces 80 meals for 30 days. 80 meals. And then she would say, how much on average, would you say you spend per meal every month? If you've got 80 meals, how much per meal? And I said 5. And she goes, that's actually low. Most people say 7 or 8. So if you think, even if they say $5 a meal for 80 meals, that's $400 right there. Okay. And then she said, do you use vitamins or anything else? I'm like, yeah, I was just being like the customer. About $200 in vitamins. Most people do. And most of their vitamins don't work. So that took my price to about $600. Then she said, do you drink anything with caffeine, coffee? Do you hit Starbucks? I'm like, well, I hit the Diet Coke thing. I was like my old school. So that was another $100, let's say, a month in coffee, Starbucks, Diet Coke, whatever. So now my cost was about $700. So even before she told the pricing about what our packs are, she had me break down what I'm spending for 80 meals, what I'm spending on supplementation and vitamins, and any kind of energy drinks. And so when you then give the price of the President's Pack, you say you'll actually spend less money. And for those of you that have actually started Isagenix, and I didn't believe it, but I actually saved money because of all, it was absolutely true. It was absolutely true. So you're explaining the value before you even give a price. If you just like give them the price without kind of any explanation or kind of thought process through that, they're never going to see the value in it. And because maybe you just want to get to it and hear it right away rather than, deal with it, that's lazy. Don't be lazy. Take the time to really explain the value in it. I mean, I'm sure every single person on this call would say, you'd give up your firstborn to keep Isagenix running through your body. Would you agree? I would. And I've even said that sometimes, like, by day 4, I was ready to sell my firstborn to keep this in my body. I mean, that's a really good way to explain the value, even if your kid's a little salty, but I do say that. And then when she says that, so we get to my number was $700 of what I was spending on my meals, my mineral support, and my energy drinks. $700. The President's Pack was $559. And some people will still kind of try to backpedal you a little bit, right? They will. They'll be like, yeah, but I have to come up with it all at once. So then she would say, would you like me to show you how to get it paid for? Most people will say, yeah. She goes, occasionally they'll say no. And this is really good. So take notes on this or rewatch this. So she asked me, where do you buy your groceries? And I said, oh, Whole Foods. She goes, so you mean to tell me that if you were at the register and you rang up, $500, $600 worth of groceries at Whole Foods, and the lady, the cashier said, now, if you brought 2 friends to Whole Foods with you or recommended Whole Foods to 2 people, you would get half off this bill. Would you recommend Whole Foods to 2 people? And of course, I was like, heck yeah. You know what I mean? So this is no different. Isn't that really, really great? Like a great analogy if they're like, well, I mean, we're just replacing groceries here. It's a reallocation of what we're spending. And in most cases, if you are using Isagenix, you're loving it. You're loving it. You're going to share it anyway. So I thought that was really good. I thought it was really, really good. The other thing that we talked about, and Hillary and I both had to kind of like say that this was a new practice for both of us. And I've just recently in the last 6 months started using it, is the new associate checklist. And it's hard because when I started, we didn't have it. And I'm just going to give you a clue. Kathy Coover came up with the new associate checklist. She was at the top of 3 network marketing companies. Do you think that might be a clue that that's really effective? It really, really is, especially people that say they're interested in the business. You really want to know how much time people have to invest. If you haven't looked at the new associate checklist, like all this stuff that I'm telling you about, like if you go to Google and literally type in new associate checklist, or new associate interview, Isagenix, boom, pops right up. Use the Google. You don't even need to know where to find it in Isagenix. If you use Google, I'm telling you right now, it's amazing. Like I'm obsessed with Google. So be using that. Again, you're framing expectations. You know how much time somebody's willing to invest. And then when it gets hard, like, I should go back and have you all do a new associate interview. So when it gets hard, I can be like, remember on September 12th, you said this. And, you know, with some of you, I've had that conversation. You know, we've had some really in-depth conversations. I've done enough work with a lot of you that I can be like, do you remember when you told me this? Or, you know, I can tag your video that you did back a year ago at a time when you said you were all in. And maybe you weren't. Maybe I should go back and rewatch some of your videos that you've done in the past. Just saying. Yeah. So that's like our new associate interviews. So start using the tools. Again, that will duplicate. You want, like, and I apologize for those of you that have been around more than 6 months because I didn't use it. And I really wish I would have. But again, you know, whatever you start with is kind of what you go with. And like Hillary, who's been doing this, I mean, she didn't have websites, she didn't have PIBs, she didn't have any of this. So she's had to relearn some stuff along the way. And as things change and as the world evolves and as technology grows, I didn't want to even learn Zoom, to be honest with you, but it's so necessary that we learn new things. And when there are tools implemented that'll make your life easier, I suggest we use it, especially if Kathy Coover came up with it. She might know a thing or two. Would you agree? Didn't you say brilliant? I'm just saying. I also did a video, gosh, in my first year on the President's Pack. I'm going to find it and bring it back up to the top. It was really, really good about how to explain a President's Pack or why it's so valuable, all the things that come in it, you know, how we break it down. Would that be cool if I brought it back to the top? Or if one of you find it while we're on this or whatever, I think it would be really, really cool. So how many of you, let's talk about events, and how many of you were at Celebration? Keep your hand up. I'm gonna flip through the screen so I can see. Keep your hands up, lots of you. Lots of you. Of course, we had 1,000 strivers at Celebration in 3 years. Isn't that amazing? 1,000 people. How many of you brought at least 2 people with you to Celebration? Keep your hands up. Lots of you. Awesome. Beautiful. This is the key. And I know many of you have been around a while with me and you didn't understand the value of an event. Same thing with like the value of a President's Pack or the value of anything, you know, until you understand it, it's very hard to project why it's so important. And from day one, because I went to my first event when I was 1 month in and I went all by myself and I vowed I would never go alone again, and I haven't. Because of the power of that first event. And how many of you would agree that the event that you've been to has changed your life? That very first one changed your life in some way, right? So why would you not explain that to people? Why would you not, you know, it's one thing to say, you just got to go to events. You just got to go to events. Okay, why? Because you're telling me? Really? I don't really believe you. You know, so. But if you tell them what happened to you at that first event, like I have been very open with what happened to me at that first event. You've heard the story, the mascara all over the face, the bawling my eyes out, being walked out on 2 days before. I mean, you've heard the sob story. I get there, here's Susan Sly, boom, belief poured into me, bulletproof after that. Like, wouldn't you agree that, like, if I don't go to that event, most of you aren't here? Would you think that that's a valuable thing to have people do? Yes. Many of you have had pretty huge experiences and things happen as a result of going to your first, second, or third event. Would you agree? Now, a lot of you also are working with teammates that they're saying one thing and doing another thing. Would you agree? You have lots of teammates that say they want it and then they don't do anything. They don't show up to things. They make excuses for stuff. They haven't gotten to an event. One of the number one things that people need to do if they say they want to be a 2%er is register for an event immediately. And if they aren't willing to do that, they aren't serious. And because a lot of you want this more for other people than you do than they want for themselves, you will continue to work with people that aren't doing the work. And doing the work means getting to an event. Doing the work means bringing somebody to an event. Would you guys agree? Okay. I know it sounds hard, and I know that a lot of us are looking at our tree and we're like, well, I need to get this person going. I need to get this person going. And sometimes backing off a little bit when they're not walking the walk that they're talking is exactly what needs to happen in order for them to get a move on. I've had to withdraw from many of you because you've said one thing and you're doing another thing. And it doesn't mean I love you any less, and it doesn't mean I'm judging you, and it doesn't mean I'm looking down on you. It's just I'm just going to match whatever you're putting out there in the world. And so you need to get to an event. You need to bring people to an event. And if your people are saying that they want this but they're not going, they probably shouldn't get as much of your time. They're probably also the ones that are complaining the most. They're probably also the ones that have the most excuses. Nod your head if that sounds about right. So why are you giving them the attention that they don't deserve? Doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean any of that. It's not about judging, but you have to be really mindful about your time. You're building a business. This is a business. Would you agree? Yeah. And some of them might be family, and that's hard. Some of them are my closest friends, and I've said, listen, you're just not ready. Totally love you. We can totally have a girls' night. Not judging you, totally okay. But when you're ready to get serious, guess what? You're going to have the biggest cheerleader and fan to help you through this. But until then, you're not ready, and it's totally okay. The timing isn't right for you, And sometimes even saying that and being really honest is what they need to hear, right? Would you agree? How many of you guys are coming Saturday to Ron Real? Put your hands up. Oh, not enough of you. I was hoping I'd see more of you. I'm sad. It's going to be awesome. Awesome. I see lots of you coming. Cool. Even if you're not coming, and this is really hard, if you're not showing up to some events, it's hard to get people to go without you, right? And I'm not saying that you have to go to every single event. However, you need to be at least the core 4. So pick a university in action, pick an ICU, and then obviously NYKO and celebration should be non-negotiable. Okay? So that's 4 events. You really should try to get to an event every 90 days. We do a lot here in Arizona, and now honestly, Super Saturdays and everything are popping up all over the place. People are having them in every part of the country. Get a car together, road trip it. We had a bunch of girls in Ohio road trip it to Columbus. Make fun out of it. All of you stay in one room, have a little, slumber party, whatever. We've done that before. Totally done that before. It's amazing. All right, I want to pick somebody out. Tiana, unmute yourself. Yeah, you.
Hi, love.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
So I want to talk to you about events because you have gotten to events even when it's been really, really hard. You've driven from Texas to Arizona to get to events, which is not an easy drive. It's 15 hours or so?
Yeah, it's 18.
Okay. So tell me why you got to an event. Was it worth it? And what you have done as a result of doing that.
Events are worth it every single time. I make not only the sacrifice to come, but I put it first in my mind. There's arguments I've had to put up with coming to events. There's things I've had to miss out on in my kids' lives as well. But every single time I've learned and my business has flourished because I come out of it on fire for a good solid time. And you'll notice it's normally when I enroll a bunch of people right after an event because I'm so on point with my mindset. I'm on point with who I am just because everything is aligned. It's when I come out of that alignment that it gets all messed up. Right. But so for me, it is worth it every single time. And this next event that I'm going to is a shocker for me with Train the Trainer in Vancouver. And I am so excited because not only am I going, but my husband is going with me. And this is huge. And he's just watched me time after time and has kicked and screamed every single event I've gone to. And this time he's coming with me. And it's just so exciting for me that I put it first and I kept making them first. And now he's like, fine, if you're going to make them first, I might as well go. So it's worth it.
Huge. I'm excited you're going. I'll be there too.
I'm super excited.
I was talking to David Wood over the weekend. That event's going to be off the charts, crazy good. So
yes,
excited. Good. We'll have to hang out a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to pull somebody out. Libby, unmute yourself. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Have my little buddy here asking me questions.
Oh, your buddy can join in too. Good to see you. Okay, so we're going to kind of finish out back with positivity. I like to begin and end with the Eric Worre thing.
Yeah.
So I know that for you, you've had to work really, really hard on staying positive and keeping your focus and keeping the main thing. So I know I'm kind of throwing this at you, but I know that you're going to nail this and just speak from your heart and your truth. What have you found challenging with staying positive, and how have you overcome fighting that, if that makes sense?
And how have I overcome what?
Sometimes it's easy to kind of go into the negative spot or to excuses or justification, but you stay positive. You are doing the do. You're walking your talk. How did you overcome kind of slipping back and forth into that? And now you're consistent all the time. You really are.
Oh, thank you. And I was hit hard today. So, in the past, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, but in the past when something would be really stressful, even the smallest thing, I would blow it out of proportion, get really stressed out to the point that I would literally act like a 3-year-old tantrum, like throwing a fit. I'd go in my room and slam the door. I wouldn't, I just get upset, and I didn't know how to really deal with it other than just like Tracy's talked about before, just closing off, secluding myself, kind of always like maybe never being the person to go and apologize or, like if it was my husband and I fighting or something. And I think what has really changed my attitude for the better or helped me to deal with stress better has been personal growth. Going through, I don't know how much you guys know about me, but I actually have a master's in counseling. And a lot of times when you have something in counseling is you're helping others, right? So I was always putting everybody else first and giving them the tools on how to deal with things, but was I using it myself? Not necessarily. So once I started doing a lot of work on myself, learning how, a big key right here, learning how to communicate with others, not holding it in and holding a grudge and the whole thing about saying what you mean and mean what you say. And, that's what I love about Tracy. That's what I love about my husband. I used to think, gosh, he just tells it like it is all the time. But you know what I found is that that's the blessing. He's taught me how to stand up for myself, how to communicate and say what I'm feeling and what I mean. So now what's happened is now when I'm in a stressful situation, instead of just reacting and blowing up and being explosive, I take a step back, take a minute to just kind of, be calm. I'm also a problem solver, so thinking about how can I help solve this problem without just initially reacting and exploding. And most of the time when I go within, it's also in prayer and with God, but really communicating, really saying what I mean and meaning what I'm saying. So for instance, today, this has been going on for about a month now, but I've been having some major dizzy spells. And I don't like to complain, so I don't typically tell people these things because I don't want it to come off as I'm complaining. But I have decided, to go and seek help for it and find out what's going on versus just, sitting around like, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to, take care of myself. I'm just going to help everybody else. And so working on myself and figuring out what the heck is going on with me.
Yeah.
I feel like I went a bunch of different directions, but.
It's, it's interesting because we're so much alike, Libby, and I would do that. And next thing you know, because I've stuffed so much, then I would explode. Even if it was something like that where I wasn't feeling right, and anymore, like just addressing it doesn't mean I'm going to sit around and like just say, oh, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to figure out what's at the root of this. Same thing with like my allergies and all that other goofy stuff. So how has that helped you, not just in your Isagenix business, but within your own home as well, by you making this shift?
Oh my gosh. Well, just being able to communicate with my husband. I went to the Top 50 event with Rod Hairston, and we talked a lot about communicating, and I can't even explain to you that when I just now tell my husband my hopes, my dreams, how I'm feeling about something, whether it's, same with my kids, we're talking through things versus, I don't know, me getting upset and ignoring them or not sharing my thought process. And when you can get on the same page with your family members, then it feels like you're just like in this alignment that I wouldn't say it's comfortable. It's like an alignment where you know where each other stands, and I used to hide a lot of stuff too. Like I used to hide my vision board, or I used to hide because I was afraid of what my husband might say, or what somebody who came into my house might question or give me slack about something. So now I'm able to stand in my greatness and say, this is who I am, and this is what I want, and these are my needs, and basically just another form of communicating.
I love it. And what's that done within your team? I know it's shifted a lot.
Yes.
In some great ways. So by you standing as a leader and owning every part about what you believe, what you stand for, what your vision is, how has that helped your team do the same?
In the beginning with my team, I felt like same thing. I really wasn't communicating. I did what we talked about. I kind of dumped a bunch of people into a group. Some jumped in. I really maybe wasn't helping them or listening to what their goals were or what they needed and wanted. So again, back to communicating. I've now since then reached down to everybody, whether they're inactive, whether they've terminated their accounts, and those long haul people who've stayed with me the whole time, and literally went back to them and said, look, when I first started this, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. I didn't even want to do the business. And here I was adding you. And then I feel like I didn't really, help you in the best way that I could. And now that I've been doing this and I kind of understand it a little bit better, can I talk to you, whatever it is, just going back and talking to them about how, I don't know, how this is changed for me, and how can I help serve them better.
That's so awesome. And I think that's where a lot of people are afraid. And many of the people on this Zoom I've talked to about, and I've talked to you about that. We've talked about that. I think a lot of people, because they felt like they didn't know what they were doing in the beginning, they feel really bad, and they don't want to go back and talk to those people and say, listen, I had no idea what I was doing. Thank you for thank you for trusting me. Caroline is on this call. She was one of my first. My Aunt Kate was one of the first people. And I'm like, listen, I had no freaking idea what I was doing. Thank you for being one of the first people to trust this hot mess. And this is what I didn't know then, but this is what I know now. How can I help you with it now? And I think there's so much power that comes with owning it. I think that is real, and most people aren't perfect. Most people, when we decide to do this, most of us start as product users. We have, myself included, and we don't necessarily know what the heck we're doing. Some of us 3 years later, honestly, still don't know exactly what the heck we're doing. But we can always speak our truth. We can always speak with love. And that is something that doesn't cost a darn thing. So I'm really, really proud of you. It's been fun watching you grow. Keep it up. Love you.
It is I am keeping it up.
All right, Trina Wright, unmute yourself. Hi.
Hi.
This is a huge subject for you about positivity and having to deal with some stuff. We don't have to mention exactly what it is, but how you're overcoming that, how you used to deal with that, because how you used to deal with it is what most people do. And do you want to talk about that a little bit? I know it's going to help a lot of people because I'm looking at the faces that are on the Zoom, and I'm going to see a lot of head nodding when you start to talk. So,
okay,
are you cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big difference for me now versus maybe a half a year ago is belief is 100% in everything. I had an experience at Celebration, and like you were saying, you felt like you were 10 feet tall. I felt the same way, and so my belief is 100%. And so because of that, I know exactly what my why is, and I'm not afraid to, when there's negative situations out there that I have to confront in order to do the best in my business and to help others do the best in their business as well, then I'm not afraid because I have that solid belief. And the positivity just comes from me knowing that I'm not going to fail no matter what. And so I can put myself out there. I can talk to people when I would have been scared before.
When you were scared before, because I mean, you've been 2 years now? Is it
yeah.
Because there were times, I'm just being really honest, we've talked about this, where you're all in and then next thing you know, Trina's off the grid for a while. And it's usually because maybe your belief wasn't 100% and somebody would say something to you and knock you off of that. Is that accurate to say? Or what do you think it was?
I don't think it was so much what people would say to me because I wasn't putting myself out there enough to get that much criticism. Mm-hmm. But when difficult things arose in my life and challenges, instead of fighting back and pushing through those things, I would back off, and I would lose belief in myself, and I didn't have enough personal development to have belief in my why and everything that I stood for and what the company stood for. So yeah, I would hide out, or I wouldn't be on Facebook and things like that, just kind of like licking my wounds instead of saying, you know what, this is crap and this isn't going to define me anymore. And that's what I've been doing now. When something sets me back, my mindset is different, and I just know, okay, this isn't going to be the end result anymore. So I'm just going to stay positive and work through it and do the best that I can with what I have every day and go from there, and it's going to work out.
And you're doing a really, really, really great job. Like, seriously, for reals. What was the shift that happened at Celebration? I mean, since we talked about events, I mean, that's, what was it? Like, what happened?
I think I was coming out of a serious stage of deception, where I even went a couple of weeks just like completely offline at the end of the summer. And I didn't know exactly how I was going to feel at Celebration. Honestly, I kind of didn't want to go because I didn't know. I was afraid that maybe I would feel like I didn't belong there anymore. It was the complete opposite. I walked in, and as soon as I saw the Isagenix banners and the people with their lanyards, and I just had this distinct feeling like, you are home. This is where you belong. You're going to go all the way with this. And it was an inevitability. Like, this just is what it is. And then we had the training meeting with Eric Warre, and everything that he said made 100% sense to me, because he focused on doing the work. And so it just connected for me that this is where I'm going to go, and now I just have to take the steps and do the work, and that's how I'm going to get there. And it also had a spiritual component to it as well, just knowing that this is something that God wants me to do, and it's a calling that I have, and it's a pull in my gut that I can't deny. And so
And that's another thing that has just shot my belief to 100% in all aspects, because if my Heavenly Father wants me to do it and he's all in, then I'm all in. So
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud of you. And she nailed it. I think because we do work so much on personal development, and I push you guys a lot into it. I mean, I push you in deception a lot. And sometimes that backfires. Not immediately it backfires, I think, because sometimes when we open up wounds, we don't always know what to do with it. And, you know, that has been one of my biggest, not pet peeves, but I think that's one area that's missing in personal development is we work so hard on opening it up and getting to the root of things. But then what do we do once we've opened it up? And sometimes we feel so raw and exposed. And it's like if you got a scab, like even taking a shower hurts. And sometimes when we open up these wounds from whatever our habits and patterns were, every time we kind of are exposing it to anything, even a shower, you know, it hurts. And so we don't know always what to do with it. And I think a lot of times, especially after that top 50 event, most of the people that went completely shut down after that, myself included. I had wounds open. I didn't even know were there. So I'm really proud of you for going anyway, for pushing through. That is the key when we are feeling that uneasiness. Like, remember why you're doing this. Keep your vision strong. Know that that is deception. And on the other side of that is a transformation. And every time that you push through that, it's just, you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And you're giving other people permission to do the same. So I'm really proud of you, girl. Really proud of you. So, you know, I'm going to finish out because I want to honor everybody's time. Staying positive is really, really key. It's everything. That is love and light. And remember, every decision you make is based on fear or love. Stress is not stress. It is fear. It is fear because you're afraid of something. If, you know, when we are busybodies, and I was the queen of stress. Are you kidding me? I would cause stress just because I was fearful. And it sounded a lot braver to say I was stressed than to say I was terrified of my life and terrified about what was going to happen. And the minute I made that shift, and if you get nothing else from me tonight, the minute I made that shift where, no, that's not true, I'm afraid. Okay, how am I going to shift this into doing something out of love? If it's out of love, then it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be scary. And honestly, yes, people are going to hurt your feelings. People are going to hurt you. Things are going to happen. I promise you won't regret it when you come out on the other side. Please just keep pushing through. The world does need us. The world needs your beautiful spirits. Like I've been flipping through all 5 pages of all of you and looking at your beautiful faces. And I want you to know that you all have value. Every single one of you has value. Whether or not you've ever made a dime with Isagenix or not, you have a gift to give the world. Whether it be a smile, a kind word, a hug, a nice note, anything, you have value. So please don't diminish your light because you don't think you have enough to give. Every single one of you has love to give in any way, and it doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost a thing, but you need to be consistent doing it. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets. And when somebody does hurt you, the less it hurts. You put on that body armor. I'm telling you right now, the best armor you can put on is freaking love. It is love. So you wear it strong, you wear it proud, you wear it every day, and it does get easier. And the negativity will just ping right off of you. Okay? Now with Pumpkin coming out tomorrow, you guys, we got some phone calls to make. We really, really do. Go back to your inactives. Circle back. You know, just have a conversation. Say, oh my goodness, you're on my heart today. Pumpkin everything. I mean, people are going crazy over pumpkin anything, right? I mean, I got pumpkin lotion and I'm really jazzed about it. Like anything pumpkin gets me all excited. So if somebody called me and said, seriously, you want a better calorie, you know, other than the latte thing at Starbucks, it's really exciting. And it's a good way to just get more in the habit of just having conversations, you know, connecting with people and not just the people in your organization. Like really practice this. At University in Action, we talked over and over and over about this. And most of you have been to a University in Action. Just tell people how grateful you are, even if it's somebody that is smiling great and they light up a room. I'm telling you right now, that makes such a difference. It makes such a difference in the world. And honestly, with all the crap that's going on, like, don't watch TV. We talked about it. Don't even do it. Just go spread love out everywhere. And you're going to really notice what you're going to start attracting more of into your life. It will be like repellent for the negativity. So keep practicing it. Keep loving it. I love you guys. I'm super proud of you. I hope you're finding these helpful. I apologize if I wasn't completely on my game. I'm literally exhausted. I'm going to go to bed as soon as this is over, but I am so super excited to see all of you guys. I cannot wait to see what we do. I've got some other things I'm working on for you guys to help you down the road, but I think we need to keep going strong in our 90-day game plan. Keep your vision board right in front of your face so you don't lose sight of why you're doing this. Spread love, be bold with it, and then just let it out. All right? Boom, 4 minutes to spare. Love you guys. Peace out. I'm going to sleep.
Good night.
And I will, before I actually put this
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
guys.
night, everybody. Jorge out.
Before I put the sleep spray in, I will have this posted tonight. So, and for 48 hours, it'll be available. So if you have people that didn't get to see it, it'll be up, and I won't go to bed till it's posted. So, Megan's
Good night.
So, good night, guys. Love you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.